Today, I'm exposing the exercise tier list scam, especially those that claim to be ranked by science. S tier for best muscle growth, F tier moves you should never do. They're neither scientific nor do they make much sense at all. I'll explain where tier lists come from and why you should gladly ignore any exercise tier list, with just one exception: origin story of tier lists. To understand the full story, we need to go back to 1990. Reddit claims one of the first tier lists appeared for Street Fighter 2, a beat-em-up game for the SNES. Some characters were simply better, faster, stronger, or just easier to master. Knowing this could decide your next win or loss. Since balancing a game is really hard, players created a ranking system from S tier to D tier, like S for superior, for D don't even try. And that's how the first tier lists were born, not from science, but from experience and perception in gaming. Online gaming exploded. Those lists evolved. Data from thousands of matches reveal patterns, win rates, pick rates, damage efficiency. Without this data, even experts were often wrong. Remember early Hearthstone card reviews? Predictions were hilariously off until real stats came in. Over time, social media amplified this idea. Ranking anything made it digestible and clickable. From career paths to diet plans, tier lists became a viral language. In gaming, accurate lists are built on data. They change with each patch because developers analyze those same metrics. So how does this translate to exercise tier lists? Here comes the problem. As an engineer, I love frameworks and simplification, but only when relevant data exists. Exercises, the data doesn't exist. And that's where the so-called scientific tier lists collapse. They pretend to know how good each exercise is, but we simply don't have the full picture. Our current tools only tell us something is happening. Not exactly what, how much, or why. Inside your muscles, thousands of processes interact. Fiber types, calcium signaling, metabolic stress, oxygen levels, all shifting every second, uniquely in each person. We don't have instruments precise enough to capture that complexity. So when someone confidentially claims the squat is S tier and the leg extensions are C tier, they're not speaking science. Maybe they're sharing their personal preference at best. So what the science says and actually doesn't. When you dive into actual studies, scientists rarely declare the best exercise. They write like this: this protocol produced slightly more hypertrophy in this group of participants over 8 weeks. That's not a universal truth. It's contextual evidence. A 2023 review even noted most hypertrophy research focuses on small groups of trained men, rarely considering biomechanics, fatigue, or injury tolerance. So even if one study says bench press builds more chest mass, that doesn't make it S tier for you, the one exception. Earlier, I mentioned one exception. If you think like an engineer, a tier list is just a model, a simplified version of reality, and models build rockets. So what kind of exercise tier list is useful and scientific? It's the one you create for yourself. Engineering thrives on feedback loops, testing, measuring, and adjusting. That's the mindset of what most tier lists miss. They're static, but you are dynamic, unique. Your list should evolve as your body, your training, and your goals change. By the way, speaking of testing, could you check if the subscribe button has already been pressed? I hope the test passed. So, how to build your own tier list. Step 1. Define your metrics. Every engineer starts with the measurable parameters. You should too. For muscle growth, track 4 metrics. Performance trend, like are your weights or reps improving? Muscle feel, deep tension and fatigue. Joint feedback, do you have any pain or irritation? And recovery signal, ready for the next session. If an exercise scores high on performance and feel, but low on pain, well, that's your S tier. You can categorize exercises also like this: primary builders, heavy compounds, secondary supporters, isolation or machines for weaklings, and maintenance tools like joint-friendly work for recovery. Anyway, you need to run small experiments. Treat each lift like a test. Run it for a couple of weeks. Track your 4 metrics. If strength rises and recovery feels good, keep it. If progress stalls or pain appears or anything else you dislike, remove it. That's feedback-based engineering. That's science. Retest it every few months. Your body changes, your tier list should too. What was 8 years 6 months ago might drop if your mechanics or priorities evolve. So ask yourself, are you still progressing? Are you still pain-free? Do you still enjoy these exercises so enough so that you can sustain? Well, if not, adjust. That's iteration, the essence of engineering, the science of self-feedback. Remember, missing lab data doesn't stop you. You can approximate it through consistent self-measurement. It's your soreness, your rep speed, your sleep, and they become a living database. Your personal muscle science. That's far more reliable than copying someone else's ultimate tier list. The real takeaway. So here's the punchline. Tier lists aren't scientific. They're summaries of incomplete evidence. Unless you create your own. Apply the engineer's loop. Measure, test, adjust. Stop asking, what's the best exercise? Start asking, what's the best exercise for me or for you? Your body, your setup, and your goals. Because science evolves, your body adapts, and smart training does too. This gave you a new lens on training and social media. Please check out my top 10 fitness myths on social media.